Welcome back to the Burn Podcast. This week on the show, we wanted to do something very special. We are just over 30 days out from our third annual Mental Toughness Forum, where thousands of people tune in to hear from some of the world's highest performers in sports and business, sharing systems and skills on how to think bigger, drive action, overcome adversity, and build mental toughness. On this week's episode, we wanted to highlight a few of the speakers that will be a part of this year's Mental Toughness Forum that we've had here on the show. If you haven't already, make sure you head over to mentaltoughnesforum.com to get registered for this year's event. You will not want to miss it. Without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of The Burn.
Tell us about the alter ego, where it's important to understand the power of your mind to flip that switch and to go to that deep, dark place where you know nobody can beat you.
You almost don't want to have this conversation with everyone because everyone doesn't understand it. I'm in a space. Look, even my tone is changing. I'm in a space where I'm okay. They don't understand, but I am an absolute monster. I could care less about you for 12 seconds. I feel so bad for you that you have to lie, because I'm sure that your dream will not survive right now. Mine is absolutely going to survive. I am so clear with that. From 2008 until 2016, there's 3 spots. Remember I told you? I took a spot every year. So that means only 2 spots are open. And that is my mentality. Once again, they're like, oh my goodness, it's the hardest team to make. Yeah, for them. Like because you have to. First of all, I train way too hard. Bobby kills me every day. So you think that I'm gonna go out here and give you an inch, an ounce? Man, whatever. Listen, you should have showed something else. The hurdles, I think the 100's wide open, but it's not over here. Like I have to, in a sense, want to murder you for 12 seconds. And then I get done. I'm like, good job, girl. That was such a good race. But I'm really in this mood because I won. Like, if I didn't, I'm like, Dawn, you got to find a way to calm down and figure out what's going on. Because you have to. When that gun goes, it's not even when the gun goes off. It's actually before. In the warm-up area, sometimes I was like, I don't even want music because I'm talking to Dawn up here. I don't want the music. I don't want to drown it out with, what someone else is saying. What am I saying on this day?
And what I'm trying to say is over time, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, which isn't a lot of time. If you could change 3, 4, 5, 6 things in your life from negative to positive, don't you think that's exceptional? But what happens is that we start comparing ourselves to other people. Well, Don does this, or he eats like this, or he measures macros. And I'm like, why are you trying to do what I do when you're just struggling to get one workout in a week? Like you just told me that anytime you hit 25 minutes in the gym, you lose interest. So I'm gonna create the 24-minute workout for you. Like, it's just no, but seriously, but that's what I'm gonna do. Like, that's where I'm the master of. Yep. I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna find that sweet spot for you. I'm gonna keep your attention high, and then I'm gonna give you a day off and make you come back, and then I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna make you have that cheat meal. No, I got to go nonstop for a month. Go have the cheat meal. Like, you're eating cheat meals every day. Do it once a week. Allow yourself a reward. And then it's part of the plan. Then get back on it the next day. I know I'm using fitness and nutrition, but the reality is I would do that with everything in life. Like, surround yourself with exceptional people. Learn from people. Set up a little team. If it's a mentor, if it's a coach you like listening to, if it's someone online that you really respect, and just try and absorb nuggets. I listened to you. It was funny because you gave 2 talks and you came up the second time and you're like, you know what? I gave similar stuff as yesterday. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm drinking it in, and there's things I'm picking up. And then there's things that honestly I'm using in my own life. And I think that's what it's about. When you start getting yourself around people that you look up to, or people that you feel like you can absorb information from, and I call it your team. And I don't mean they're working for you. I just mean like, that's my team. These are the people. Then you start elevating your game and you start doing a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And that's my advice to people.
This acronym HOPE, HOPE, it stands for help one person every day. And this concept of literally what you're talking about. And a lot of people that I talk to every day are scared to put themselves out there. They're scared to step on the stage. They're scared to go on social media. They're scared to speak their truth. They're scared to put themselves out there and talk about what they do or what they love and build their brand. And it's because they're worried about what I used to be worried about, which is what everybody thinks of me and what I look like, and if I look good enough, and if they're going to judge me, and if they're going to like it, or if they're going to share it. The second that I was able to let go of all of that BS, because none of that stuff matters. If you have a service or a story or a product, and I'll double down on story, because you don't have to have, this isn't just for entrepreneurs, this isn't just somebody with a service or a product. If you have a story that can help other people, I believe that it's not about me. It's actually my responsibility to make that story visible to other people so that I can help them. It's not about all the masses. It's not about helping millions really at this point. Each day I wake up and I'm like, who's the one person that I'm talking to right now that needs my help? One person. And I look at my phone in the morning. I put my makeup on Instagram every single day. So it's definitely not about what I look like. It's definitely not about that. I don't care about that anymore. And I think about the one person, maybe the one person that was listening to that live this morning that, needed to hear that message in order to get out of bed that day, or in order to go call that person that they haven't spoken to in years and say, you know what, I'm so sorry. I'm really grateful for you. Or maybe the one person that's listening to this right now. It's not about us. It's not about, yes, I love connecting with you, but really we're creating this content for the listener. And I think when you can flip your mindset around and the perspective around and make it not be about the likes and the follows and the comments and the admiration and like, oh my God, what are they going to think of me? Or maybe the fear of what people will say. And you flip it around and you think about that one human being that is on the other side. There is one person that's watching that content that you're creating or reading it or listening to it, that maybe one thing that you say to them is going to change the way that they show up today. And maybe because they changed the way they showed up today, they're going to actually treat their family differently. They're going to show up differently when they go to the grocery store. They're going to show up differently at their job, and that's going to affect the people around them. And maybe those people are going to show up differently. You could create a snowball effect every single day. So I love this. I don't get tired of this. Like I have this burn that you feel right now. Like I could talk to you all day and not get tired. The reason is because I just get so filled up and fueled up, and I feel so much joy when I think about hopefully the person that's sitting on the other side that I used to be, that maybe is getting jazzed by this conversation and will go show up in a different way today.
You could be a little more focused when you read the book, to not just read it, but to read it. You could be more focused when you cook your food. You could be more focused to actually do your workout. You could be more focused in your work so you don't live with regret. So I had to get that in there, because you got me hyped just thinking about how I could take intentional focus to a whole nother level. This is unbelievable.
No, thank you. And you're absolutely right. I think it's, a person that leaves with great intentions has no regrets, right? A famous person said that. And I think that we all need to continually do that, but then we have to be conscious. And unfortunately, because of, we have laptops, TVs, phones, tablets, noise pulling at us, we think about what, 1 million thoughts a day? How many of those mean anything? And how many of those are producing anything? What if we could just eliminate more noise so then we can focus on just 10 things? Just 10 things. Or maybe just one today. Just one today. I must, no matter what happens, come hell or high water, I'm not going to drink alcohol today. Come hell or high water, when I drive home from work, I might take a little detour, slowly drive around the neighborhood and maybe park somewhere about a couple minutes away, text my wife and say, I'll be right home. Turn off the radio and take some deep breaths, recognizing my day. And even if I had the worst freaking day, I am not bringing that home to this woman, to these kids. But just being that intentional, right, can make the world a difference. Instead of just driving your ass home, getting out of the truck, slamming the door, and then you have what I call the blank stare, which every man has done at some point in time in their life. Hey, honey, how you doing? I'm fine. Fine. Hey, Dad. Fine. Hey. That's what comes out of your mouth. You don't know it, but that's what's coming out of your mouth. Nothing of substance.
This is not the end, it's just the beginning. And so what I did was I decided to do what was in my control to do. I still use football as a motivator. I say, you know what? It's rehab time. Rehab time wasn't to be a speaker. It wasn't to start an organization. Rehab Time simply meant I got some weaknesses, mind, body, and soul. I'm gonna put some strengths back into these weaknesses so I can come back stronger. So I started reading when I didn't read books. I started getting into my word spiritually, and I dedicated my physical health, hitting 24-hour fitness at 12 a.m. in the gym. And what happened during those times is I found myself. I gave myself a slimmer of light that said, there's something more in your future. And what I decided to do, I decided to document the journey. And I would go live. At this time, it was Blog TV or Ustream. It wasn't even like Facebook or anything like that. And people would watch. And people would ask me questions like, you know, how do I get over this? And how do I get through this? And by default, me not even knowing what I'm doing, I'm giving them answers. And so they said, can you come back tomorrow? And I was like, I can't come back tomorrow. So how about I just start recording these YouTube videos? So I went to YouTube, and that's how Rehab Time started. It started for myself, not for anybody else. And that was the hardest thing, to make myself believe that there was more to my life when there seemed like there was no evidence of that. But I kept moving forward step by step, inch by inch. I didn't even know, Ben, what the destination was. I didn't know. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew where I could not afford to stay at. And I just took the first step that I knew.